Good morning, good morning. I'm back again with another video. I made one just a few minutes ago on the Mercury retrograde, and I wanted to come back on because there's been a lot of things that have been on my mind that I've been wanting to share, but and you know, a lot of times the best time for me to make a video during my working days is during the in the morning time, but I haven't been having as much time to do it because of focusing on like my journaling and things like that. But I actually woke up earlier than I had been for the past week. Normally I'm an early riser, but for some reason I've been waking up right at 6 when normally I wake up around 4 or 5 like that. And I thought that was probably part of the reason because I was drinking, liquid for a whole 4 weeks. So maybe it was just my body getting used to digesting more food or whatever. So it may be making me more tired. However, another aspect is that we are still in the waning crescent of phase of the moon cycle, which is a time to rest. So it's a time of rest. So you may feel more tired. It's a time to reflect and contemplate. This is a time period to really be inner and reflect, because there's so many things going on that just saying reflect, to meditate, reflect, relax, get rest or whatever. So I thought that may be part of the reason why. But it's interesting because today I woke up at 5 o'clock again, like I normally do, which was great for me. And it just made me think about a lot of things, and I'm just very inspired. I'm currently part of, if you haven't heard of Nubia I Set in One, I would encourage you to look her up on YouTube. She has a lot of great videos. She's very inspirational. She's all about the balance of the mind, body, spirit, and eating the best foods that you can eat, and just woman empowerment, black women empowerment. She is just wonderful. Her videos are very inspirational. It's just beautiful, and she has intensives, and right now she has an intensive called "So You Want to Be an Entrepreneur," and it's a great. I just joined, but it's very great, and I really am enjoying it. I just joined yesterday. That was the funny thing about it, because I knew I wanted to do it or whatever. And I'm just so like excited, and I think that's part of the reason why I woke up so early, because one of the things that we forget, I think, as people, is how important it is, or how our energy is everything. And she just reminded me of that, about how everything is in, like, how the essence of who we are is energy. And it kind of brought me back to, I understand why I am doing raw foods, because there's a lot of people that are like, is raw foods too extreme? Sometimes I'm thinking, is raw foods too extreme? Is that not a balance? Or people may ask me questions like, is how long you're doing it or whatever? Because I don't know how long I'm doing it. I just know that Spirit's telling me to do this. Like, this is something that I need to do, and with the work that I want to do, I need to do it. And then I got a reminder from her that, and I knew this already, but it's just good to hear somebody else say it, remind you again. But how high vibrational raw foods are, and how it connects you to the source. Like she said, it connects us to the source. And that makes absolute sense. It makes absolute sense. That's why I am eating raw foods, because it keeps me high. And especially when you think about all the things that go on, the mundane things that you have to deal with in life, and how sometimes that can bring you down. How sometimes just, your job or whatever can just bring a lot out of you. And But when you have rituals, like, and I mentioned it in one of my previous videos about being intentional and having rituals, meditating, journaling. I'm big on that. Meditations, journaling, affirmations, you know, eating, even if you don't eat raw food, just eating, foods that are good for you. Eating, incorporating lots of fruits and vegetables, because that is connected to nature and it's connected to source. Like she said, it's just like, it just makes sense or whatever. And I can tell you, I can attest that ever since I've eaten raw, that a lot of great things have started to manifest. And when I took the time to truly take care of myself, then things started looking up. Relationships started becoming better. And my relationship with myself became better. And I began to really understand what my purpose is here on earth. And my purpose is to help people. It's to help people, to share with people. And I feel like that's all of our purpose in different ways. But I know that my way is through holistic health and understand and letting people know that through mind, body, and spirit, that they can fulfill their purpose and fulfill their desires and what they want out of life. That what we want, we can easily attain. We just have to tap into that deep inner being in us that drives us. That drives us, because when we are truly doing what we love to do, that I can't even express it. It's just when we're doing what we truly love. Like, I just think about, it was just funny because I was on my sister. She has like a Facebook group, and it has a lot of women in it, and she brought up the fact that I love astrology. And then people started asking questions. And to me, I can do that all day. I can sit there and just literally talk about astrology, talk about numerology, talk about veganism, or raw food, or just healthy. I could talk about that stuff all day. Looking at symbols and analyzing things. I can do that all day. Time can go by so fast. Sometimes you'll forget to eat. It's like you're so into, like, you're so in the moment of what you desire that you're just on a natural high. So that really motivated me today, yesterday, and then that's why I feel like I got up even more earlier today. I was like, I'm getting back on track, and I had and I also had a sea salt bath, because it's just that I've been putting that off for a while. I used to take sea salt baths and do little concoctions with my bath water a lot. I did it every day, but then I stopped. Due to time, but I'm learning now that I have to set out time to do things that I love and things that I desire. Because one thing I've noticed is that when I take the time to truly do the things that I love, before work, I can leave at a certain time and still get to work on time. Not saying that it happens all the time, but I'm just here to say that your time is just as valuable. We spend so much time on other people's clocks. A lot of us do. So we deserve to give ourselves time to take care of ourselves. It might seem like I'm doing like a tongue twister or talk or saying the same thing over and over again, but that's just how I feel. And when I say that everything is energy, it definitely is. And I was just thinking about it. This is something else that I wanted to share. My first vehicle that was like my first nice, decent vehicle was my Jeep, my little Jeep. And I have a soft spot for Jeeps, because that was my first car was a bucket or whatever. It was like something that doesn't even get made anymore. It's like a 1987 like Plymouth Reliant. I remember getting that in college. My parents got it for me, and they got it for real cheap. And that didn't last that long. It was stuff always that car didn't last that long. So what happened was they ended up giving me a Jeep Cherokee. Like, I got it in my name. You know what I'm saying? When I was like a junior in college or something like that. So it was a 2005 Jeep, and it was fairly new. You know, it was fairly new, and I really loved that car. That car lasted me until last year. That's when I got rid of it, and I'm 30 years old now. I got that one when I was about 20, almost 21. So it lasted me a while, considering the fact that I didn't I did like the regular maintenance of changing the oil, getting tires when they said I needed to do it, changing the windshield wipers, stuff like that. But I didn't do like what they recommend every, so and so miles, get this replaced, get this replaced, this replaced. So I think what happened was when I moved to Delaware from the South, when I moved to Delaware, when it got cold, ooh, my Jeep was just like, and it started acting up, one thing after another, after another, after another. So stuff started happening to my car. I'm just like, what is going on? I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, I never had issues with this car until now, like major issues. I've had issues, but not like major issues where I'm like paying a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So finally, it was hard for me to make this decision, but it was just getting too costly. And I decided okay, I need to look for a new car. And this was during a time period where a lot of stuff was going on with me. I was planning a wedding. Me and my husband, we were moving into a new place. It was a lot. We were traveling during that time period too, because we had a wedding in Georgia, even though we lived in Delaware. We were just doing a lot. A lot of things were just coming to a head, and I just felt like in my job, the commute back and forth to work, because I worked rush hour. I worked in Philly, and it was just like, oh my goodness, it was just too much. And that was right before I started to really take the time to start eating. That was right before I started to eat raw foods and do the baths and things like that, and start really taking care of myself. But I just think that was extremely interesting, that all of that, after me just deciding finally to get a new car. So I got a new car. And it's not brand. It wasn't brand new. It was used, but it was still in pretty good condition, and still doing me good now. The interesting thing about the car that I got was that the tire pressure light, the TPS light, will always come on. There was nothing wrong with the tires, but the sensor was off, and that's the same issue I had with my previous car, the Jeep, is that the TPS light would stay on. Like, it would just stay on for no reason. I had problems with that, and I was like, something's going on. Like, I started thinking about it on a metaphysical level. Like, this is deeper than that. When you think of tires, a car gets you from one place to another. It moves you from one place to another, and the tires is very critical to a car, because the tires move you to that, from point A to point B. Without the tires, you can't move. And something in my tire, and the tire sensors normally let you know when something's wrong with the tires. It lets you know. And I just think about that. I'm like, on a metaphysical level, what is going on with me that I feel like me going from one place to another, maybe I'm not feeling confident in what's going on with me in my world. Maybe I'm not trusting the inner being in myself to serve my purpose. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm thinking about it from that aspect. And I was like, and it's with this new car, and they're telling me, Nissan's telling me everything's fine with, my tires or whatever, that of course I'm gonna have to replace them eventually, but there's nothing wrong with them, but the light still comes on. But the amazing thing about it is, during that time period, I've had the car since March. I've been working on myself. Like I said, I've been really working on myself, and still a work in progress. There's still a lot I need to, that I'm doing, and I'm doing the work though. And just recently, this past weekend, when I went to get my car serviced, I was like, oh boy, I'm probably gonna have to get this. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing replaced. And the guy was like, who looked at my car, he said, well, he was like, I'm gonna check and make sure you actually need to replace it. He said, all I did was reset it. There was nothing wrong with your car. I just reset it. And I was like, okay, in the back of my mind, people have resetted that TPS thing, and it still gave me, and it still came back on by the time I got home. So I thought it was very amazing that it's been almost a week and that thing has not come on. That light has not come on. So I was like, oh my God, I feel like on an energy level, something is going on with me. You know, I'm trusting something inside of me. And I just have to keep pushing on and understand that I can have what I desire and I do not lack. And I can trust in the inner being in me and to not have fear. So to me, that's a very big deal because I'm a firm believer that, you know, we carry everything in energy in everything that we have and everything that we do. And to me, that was a biggie. For me to finally not have that tire pressure light on in my car. You might think like, what? But for me, that was a big deal. To me, that means that my energy has shifted into a higher vibrational frequency, and I'm excited about it. I'm very thankful for that. Um, but that's all I wanted to share for now. But thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.